Rappers, it's Curtis King at CurtisKingBeats.com answering the question, should beginner rappers be releasing a song a day? Gary Vee talks about this approach in many of his videos, but should you be releasing a song a day? They want to hear from Curtis King. Well, let's talk about it. Rappers, should you be releasing a song a day? It sounds nuts, right? When you first hear this, I first heard it from Gary Vee. Gary Vee was talking about that in this day and age, you have to be ahead of the game and understand where pretty much the tempo of the game is going and understand the culture of what really business is telling you. And the culture of business is being shifted by these corporations that figure out, or these businesses that figure out, yo, this is what the people really want. Not what they kind of want or what they'll pay for. This is what they need. And they didn't know they needed it until they answered an all-important question they didn't even know they had to ask. I'll give you an example of this. At one point in time, Apple answered this question. Why is it that I can only have 22 songs on a compact disc? Why can't I just have every song and every album that I ever purchased all on one device? Apple answered that question. And because they answered that question in the form of an iPod, they literally spawned the culture of not just their own business. They didn't only just tap into the culture of what people wanted, but they literally led the way and other businesses followed suit. People are not making CDs and DVDs at quite the speed they were at one point in time because they answered a question once again that people didn't even know they had a question about. Let's fast forward some years. Let's think about Blockbuster. Blockbuster at one point in time was the dominant company when it came to renting movies. And I know you're probably asking, what does this have to do anything with should rappers follow me? It's gonna all make sense. I'm gonna bring it together in a second. Blockbuster at one point in time owned the market when it came to renting movies. If you wanted to get a game and kind of check it out first, you had to go to Blockbuster. In order to get a movie, you had to pay $5.99 for two or one movie or whatever the case may be. It's been a very long time, but you had to bring those movies back within 3 days. Fast forward to Netflix hitting the scene, and Netflix answered another question. Why is it that I have to pay for movies that I can only see every 3 days? What the hell? Like, why do I have to only have this for 3 days? Why can't I have this whenever I want at the tip of my finger, and I can go watch any amount of movies that I want? Why do I have to, what is going on? Why do I have to walk into anywhere to go watch a movie? Netflix answered all those questions. Now, of course, this is me fast forwarding time, but because they answered those questions, they tapped into something that other companies didn't know. Hey, people are willing to pay, although a lower price, they're willing to pay a subscription to have access to an abundance of movies. So what can I offer that is in the form of a subscription that gives the illusion that you're getting a whole lot for very little? So that being said, rappers, I want you to start looking at things as the business that you are and start to understand the direction of where other businesses are going. As you look at the culture of now and you look at how even games, you know, I got an Xbox recently and it had me downloading games. I don't even own the compact disc or the D, whatever you want to call it, the disc for NBA 2K19. I literally bought it with the actual system and downloaded it. Now, this is not new news to anybody who's had an Xbox. I just got mine. But anybody who has had an Xbox, this is not new news. But the thing about it is this tells me companies are figuring out, we have to make this more compact. We have to make it more convenient, less work for the person that's actually purchasing, and they will be a happy customer until they figure out another question that they need answered, or until the companies figure it out. So that being said, rappers, I want you to look at that, everything that I presented to you, and ask yourself, should I be releasing a song a day? Well, if the culture and the people are asking for a lot more, for a lot less, via streaming, you think about people are not actually buying songs. They're really just paying subscriptions to have a reach of an abundance of songs, including yours. You probably should be trying to release as much music as possible. Now, the question then becomes, or the rebuttal becomes, well, Curtis, how do I do that and still make sure that it's quality? Because, you know, some of these songs that come out, people are just microwave popping them out, and, you know, they got producers and I can't keep up with the budgets. Batch your content. batch your music. Find ways to figure out a theme. Even like what I used to call mini EPs. And they're not actual projects, but they're really mini EPs inside your head of a certain time frame and a certain theme and a certain vibe that you were feeling at the time. You may run off 3 songs that have the same similar vibe, right? Feels like a project, but it's not. Go from those 3 songs, switch the vibe, go to another 3. Switch the vibe, go to another 3. Switch the vibe, go to another 3. Here's what's gonna end up happening after you get about 40 something songs just stashed in the back of your catalog. When you get to about 40 songs, you're gonna learn a lot of things about yourself, especially as a beginner rapper. First thing you're gonna learn is that you still have a lot of work to do. Second thing you're gonna learn is that, man, I am really versatile. And if I could get the best looks out of this 40 to as many people as possible, not even many people, but as consistently as possible, the people will come if the music is quality. Now, with you staying in those vibes, there's only one technique that I would do if I had to batch. I would take those vibes, those 3 EPs, those 3 Ps or whatever you want to call them, mini EPs, and I would vibe them out, and I would start to think strategically. Okay, every part of the year, a certain type of music makes more sense. Up-tempo music, summertime. Really calm and relaxed and warm and really feel-good music. You typically get that towards the September or the end of the year, the 4th quarter. That music that feels like it's triumphant, that I'm back, I'm about to take over this year. The beginning of the year. Now, if you know that, now you can strategically start placing these songs out there. Now, if you want to do a song a day, I think that it's important that you give yourself a head start, because even with that 3 song idea that I have, 40 songs is only going to last you 40 days. But for some of you, you don't need to actually go 365 days. Really, you got to think of it like this. Those are just bragging rights for yourself. But there are ways to make it feel like, man, the illusion is that you're really, really working, bro. Like you're really putting in work. And it may be literally you taking this archive of songs. So you have 40 songs in a batch. I would spread those out and I will continue to record. Now, as you're releasing those, you just keep going. You're just a machine, right? You're just gonna continue to record. You're gonna get better. You're gonna get better. And as soon as something takes off and has fire, bring one of those more recent songs and throw it out there into the rotation. Put it out there, let the people get a taste of it, and then after that, you continue to go on to your rotations. The thing about it is, nobody's going to know when you release those songs except for you. So have fun with this process. I know there's a lot of folks that are more my generation that cannot, for the life of them, they cannot figure out, man, how do I release? I can't release 365 songs, man. Take me 365 hours to do one song. I hope it don't, but I know there's people that are like that. That being said, I think that you got to figure out what's best for your demographic. But at the same time, don't ignore that the culture is shifting. Don't ignore that other people are out here doing what they're doing, because that is giving you a taste of what the people want. Now, you can release music at your own speed. Don't have no fears, especially in the beginning. Look, nobody's checking for you in the beginning. There's no pressure. Take chances. Do what you like. Have no fear, because there's literally no fans that are near. Not until you get some consistency. Not until you start putting some work in and people start to see your growth. The thing about it is, one thing that I want to add to this, and it's the last thing that I want to say about it, is that a lot of rappers, they're very insecure, and I'm no different. I was very insecure about my first music. Like, I don't want nobody to hear this. My voice sounds weird. Oh my God, why did I say that word that way? Why did I think that those 2 words rhymed? Is that cool to me? Was that cool to me then? And you don't want to show off the music to nobody? I understand it, but what you got to understand is this. No matter what happens in culture, no matter what happens in terms of the frequency in which they start to expect music, one thing stays the same. People love to see a story in motion. They love to see somebody go from rags to riches. They love to see somebody go from, you kind of a whack rapper to, dang, I was riding with you since you was whack and you kind of tight now. Find a way to paint that picture. If painting that picture means putting down 30 songs in a month, by all means, but don't feel like you have to do that. In another video, I'll talk about an example of, but beginning rappers, don't put so much pressure on yourself in terms of thinking about, man, I gotta keep up with the game, I gotta do this. Just understand the game is shifting. And as you get better, and as you get a little bit more tight with your discipline, as you start to write songs a little bit faster, take advantage of that and start putting those songs out. The beauty of living in 2019 is the fact that now, people nowadays will even listen to your rough drafts. Chance the Rapper released a few rough drafts of songs that he was putting together, and songs that he probably never even put out. He just showed you, this is what I'm working on. It's a work in progress. Think about Kanye West and all the crazy shit he does. Think about Kanye West with the Wolves song. The Wolves song had like 4 or 5 different versions before it was I guess, final, kind of, but it's showing you that people are open to that. People are open to seeing art progress right before their eyes. So if that's the case, and you're paying attention to everything that's around you, trust your instinct. If it says that you need to go ham on some songs, go ham on some songs. There's no way to lose. In this life, you will not be full of life until you decide to life to its fullest. Curtis King, the leading voice of the online music producer and rapper community. Don't add me. Peace. Please subscribe to the channel below. Curtis King, CurtisKingBeats.com.